What's up, you guys? It's PhiDX, and welcome to my final video of 2023. I'm sorry to do it to you, but if you haven't clicked away by now, basically what I want to do in this video is look at the Tekken World Tour in 2023 and recap what we should be excited for going into the finals. The finals are happening in New Orleans on January 14th, and we have the last chance qualifier for that 2 days before. And then after that, I want to share some of my YouTube growth throughout 2022 and this year, and just share my appreciation for your guys' support and what you can look forward to in 2024. I'll be sharing some of my dashboard metrics in case you're interested in that as a creator yourself, or just as someone who follows the YouTube game. It's exciting for me, so I want to share some of that. Okay, let's get right into the Tekken World Tour. First things first, I got to show my browser on screen. Here we go. This is the current leaderboard going into the finals. So this year, it's back to the old format of offline only and a global leaderboard that everybody competes against. If you're not familiar, in 2022 during COVID, everything was online. So instead of doing a global leaderboard when travel was so restricted, every region handled its own leaderboard. Online events were included. That's part of the reason I was able to kind of blow up so much. There were so many online events. But what would happen at the end of the season is there would be a regional finals to decide which representatives would be sent to the finals. So this year, it's not that. All of that explanation is just to say we're back to the regular style of people flying to events, accumulating points, and globally, the top 19 go to the finals. This year we see some familiar faces and some new ones. A very exciting time for the Tekken scene. Arslan Ash with an insanely dominant performance once again, dominating EVO 2023, EVO Japan 2023, and many other tournaments. He won Combo Breaker 2023, Uprising Korea, one of the most stacked tournaments this year. It was like only S and A tier Korean players and Pakistani players at this tournament. He won the whole thing. Super incredible stuff. So as always, you can tell by the point lead alone how Arslan has just dominated 2023's Tekken scene. If you haven't heard of Ulsan, Ulsan is an interesting newer face. New face isn't the right word. At the peak of his Tekken career, he had military service, so he had to stop playing. But now he's back, the Bob and Kazumi player, playing base roster characters, showing up again and dominating so many tournaments as well. His style is so high tempo and so outplay focused. Like, he wants to force a situation and then outplay you in it. Rev Major 2023, Fighter Showdown 2023, and many other events as well. These are just the master tier events, by the way, and that's why these guys have so many points. Is if you win a master tier, you are cruising, right? But Ulsan again, winning FV Major 2023. I believe he won another tournament in the Philippines. He's just absolutely dominant. At the number 3 spot, CBM, Korea's Noctis player, formerly a Jin player, and also having an incredible performance, kind of really nailing the Tekken 7 style with the Noctis. He's fallen to Ulsan a couple times, but at Fighter Showdown 2023, CBM won. So he also, I believe this is the tournament in India where he also beat Ni and a bunch of other really strong players. So CBM, very incredible here, winning Cape Town Showdown, beating Arslan Ash. So CBM is definitely a threat. I mean, he's number 3 on the slot. That's kind of redundant to say. John Ding, people are more familiar with. Lucky Chloe and Eddie player. Ni, a familiar face. People might be critiquing Ni for his performance here, but I think, he's getting pretty old and traveling is really exhausting to compete at the highest level. He's also constantly changing characters from like Paul in season 1 to Steve in season 2, and then leaning more into Fang in season 4 and 5. So he seems to have to work really hard to counter the Pakistani style, but I think he's totally capable, obviously winning EVO 2022 and being one of the greatest legends throughout the game's history. So throughout the franchise's history. I believe he's won over 110 Tekken tournaments, which is insane. So I think we'll be seeing more of Ni. This is far from the end. A number 5 spot is, very incredible for someone who has such a long history, who is like putting his all into the game for so many years. Yeah, Big knee fan here, obviously. Atif, Pakistan's former defending Tekken World Tour champion. I don't know the current status on his visa, but we are all hoping he can get into America so that he can defend his title this year at the finals. He snuck in last minute, I believe, winning Tiger Uppercut against Lohai here. So I believe the points here skyrocketed him into the leaderboard, which is a great position to be in at number 6. Joka, many people, I believe, heard of him in 2022 and early 2023. He is the UK's Fang and Heihachi player. His style is so dynamic, and he always seems to find the most clutch low blocks to win the entire tournament. I don't know how he does it. He's incredible to watch, and he's so scary. Like, he has such a presence on the screen, like the game screen. He's in Pakistan training right now with, I believe, Atif and Arslan and Kokoma and Raif as well, if my information is correct. So looking forward to seeing Joka play. Rangchu, former champion as well, known for Panda and Julia, but also showing other characters recently like Josie in tournament gameplay. So we have no idea who he's going to pick, but a defending champion is no joke. Anakin, along with Joey Fury, the 2 American representatives. Anakin, like, early in the season, people were kind of rumbling like, oh, like, he can't really get these good results. Like, is he going to be all right? Is he going to make it? But he's cruising into the number 9 spot. He's always going to be a force to be reckoned with. Even if Jack has to go low constantly in the low parry game that is Tekken 7, Anakin is horrifying to play against. He is so good, and his placing shows. Daniel Mato. 2 Jin players actually at spots 10 and 11, 2 different styles. Both of these guys have been traveling a lot. Daniel Mato especially sharing on Twitter a lot that he's in a different location for a tournament. So he's been grinding really hard. He's very cracked. Like, he will sacrifice. If you block like a -12 low, Jin only gets a small while standing 4 punish, right? Daniel Mato will crouch cancel to do Jin standing 2-4 to get the max damage knockdown advantage situation. He's very sharp. But his style is so different from Raif from Saudi Arabia, who is known a lot more for his high tempo game, doesn't use a lot of electrics, but uses his parries so effectively. He forces you into situations where you want to retaliate because he's mixing you up, and he'll parry your retaliation or your keep out or your offense. So it's really scary fighting him in a 1-2, and he's been very successful. Kokoma, again, training in Pakistan, very also a grinder. Very also a grinder. My English is failing me today. Kokoma also grinding and going around the world and showing a lot of strong performances. I don't think he's gotten any huge tournament wins, like the big first place, right? But the grind and his consistency have pushed him into the leaderboard here, and that's still really scary to fight against, right? So I think Kokoma is still going to be a very solid threat. I think, yeah, look, 2nd place here at Head Stomper. But otherwise, just a lot of top 8 appearances and a lot of general consistent dominance, but no strong first places. Still very exciting to see what he will do. Lohai, again, sneaking in at the last minute with this Tiger Uppercut win and a few other dojos. Sorry, not win, 2nd place. But the amount of points he got here shot him into the leaderboard. I know that the Korean scene has a lot of problems with Lohai. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of like fracturing and things like that. I don't know much about it because I'm from America, but from my perspective, I hope that gets sorted out. I hope that things are able to be cleaned up, because seeing high-level Tekken is really cool, and seeing Lohai in the professional scene again as a Tekken fan is really cool to see. His gameplay is very read-based. His reactions are insane. Always a pleasure to see this top-level play. Ao, a Japanese Kunimitsu player, also similar to... Actually, I can't even draw a comparison. Ao is probably the craziest player here, playing insanely high tempo and high risk with almost no regard for his life, and yet pulling out very amazing results. 2nd place at EVO 2023, and plenty of other amazing results for Ao. He's really exciting to watch. Like, you never feel safe on the other side of the screen against Ao. There's so much anxiety just because you never know what he's going to do. Chikarin, a former world champion as well, playing not as much Geese as before, but a lot of Leroy as well. A lot of players I've talked to, Arslan and Nee, have said that Geese has gotten less scary with more nerfs over time, and just how everybody has gotten really comfortable fighting against that style of game that Geese likes to play. So Chikarin is supplementing that with the Leroy. Excited to see how he brings it into the World Tour Finals. Tibetano is a Ganryu player. Generally decent results, I believe, and a key win. Where is it? He had a key win here at First Attack 2023 to a challenger tier event, giving him a lot of points and putting him into the finals. On the lower end, but still definitely a threat. Ganryu in a first 2 is ridiculous. We talked about Joey Fury a bit with Anakin, also not putting up very consistent dominant results, but I don't think that's reflective of Joey's skill. Joey is the Batman of the Tekken scene. He will be prepared for the tiniest situations. He will grind. He will be so sharp. And if Joey shows up in top form, everybody should be afraid. I've seen matches where Joey fights somebody, especially in last year's finals, where it felt like he was unbeatable. It felt like watching Batman take down Superman. You know what I mean? Joey is super, super scary, and I'm really excited to see him show up at the finals. Super Akuma is a familiar face, constantly having finals appearances, and what a hard career Super Akuma has had. Like, so much hate on him just for playing Akuma, for his like reactions on stage, but I've met him in real life multiple times. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He will play games with anybody regardless of your level. He will give you tips, and the fact that he consistently shows up in the finals regardless of the character, regardless of all this nonsense and drama around him, is so impressive to me. So I'm really glad to see him in the finals, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him represent France. And then finally, Book from Thailand, another player I have a lot of respect for. Book and I have met a couple times and talked a bunch, and he said it's really hard for him coming out of Thailand because there's not a lot of training partners. There's not a really strong dominant scene. So he's kind of generated this world-class gameplay off of his own back. Obviously, the people he played with deserve credit as well, but Book is absolutely incredible, and it is so exciting to see him once again in the finals. Unfortunately, Pena was edged out by 10 points. Master Raven of Japan, very good up-and-coming player with insane results every year, but just barely missing out on the finals. I'm hopeful for him. Obviously, if he shows up to the last chance qualifier, I can't cheer for him too hard because I'm hoping to sneak into the 20th spot as well. But as a Pena fan, I hope he does very well for himself, and I think his career is going to go crazy, especially with Tekken 8's Raven looking really, really good. And then I don't know who's all showing up to the last chance qualifier. I know Shadow will be there. Pretty sure Dawn will be there. The American players, I think, are pretty much a shoo-in to show up at the last chance qualifier. Mo-Il, possibly. I'm not sure which Koreans because the flights are so expensive. But I would count on seeing Mo-Il, Chanel, Ayo Richie, probably. A lot of these higher leaderboard players I would expect to see. Pakistan, again, is having trouble getting visas, so they may not be able to make it. Azim is an American resident currently, so he may be there as well and would be a solid contender for this top 20. All that said, I think this is going to be a really good season. So my plan on the YouTube side of things is I want to cover a lot of my matches I had with Arslan Ash and me. I flew out to Burbank when they were at the Evo showcase for Tekken 8. I also played Book a bunch. I want to share a lot of my matches with them and kind of talk about the high-level mindset, kind of get you guys geared up for the finals with a lot of information about how these players like to play. And then I want to cover the finals themselves. Obviously, I will be at the LCQ. I will be at the finals, so there may be some delay there. But as soon as that ends, we'll be going into Tekken 8 in 2 weeks, and we've got tutorials, we've got guides planned. We want to look at all the characters. I'm hopeful to provide a lot of content for you guys. I've enjoyed competing a lot in Tekken 7. I feel like, again, it's been a blessing because playing my favorite character in any media, Noctis, in the game that's really fit to my style, the whiff punish, counter hit, low parry game, lots of backdashing, which is like my favorite thing to do. I feel really blessed having to have had that opportunity, but I've been enjoying content creation so much, and I think it really fits my skill set a little more. I think that creating content is more in line with the things I naturally do very well. For example, if I'm on stage competing in tournament, sometimes I'll just want to hit a cool move that the crowd will like. And that's not really the best mindset to go into a match with. Or I'll start like trying to empathize with my opponent. Like, oh, he was trying to do this. That was a good idea. You can't think about that when you're fighting somebody for your life, right? But in the context of my content, it actually works super, super well. So I am not done competing by any means, but I'm really, really excited to lean into content as kind of my primary source of like energy and output, just because I think it really vibes with me, and like the way I exist works so well with content creation and making YouTube videos. So now I want to look a bit at kind of the history of my channel in 2022 and kind of where we're going from here. We're sitting at 16.5k subscribers, which is way more than I anticipated. I want to jump here and show how we've gotten here in the first place, and then I'll show some of my dashboard metrics as well. At the start of 2023, end of 2022, there was some Tekken 8 news, so I got this nice little bump in subs. We were sitting at around 5,000, and we are finishing up this year with 16,500, like I just said. The growth has been so phenomenal, and I'm really, really grateful. This big uptick is due to, I believe, daily uploads starting in late October, right as the Tekken 8 closed beta test was wrapping up. It's crazy what happens when you upload daily. People like to watch. Who knew? But I've been so grateful for the support, really. So in 2022, this was what my channel was like. About 300K views, about 3,000 subscribers gained. And then these were the videos that were kind of big. There was the early Korean backdash guide I made at the very beginning. It was a ripoff of the speed kicks method in his video. He made a video on it, but I kind of made it a bit shorter, kind of converted it to spoken word instead of written text on a screen. That'll be a theme for a bit. I rip off a lot of content from him, and we talk about it and joke about it a lot. But the best videos that I've come up with tend to come from his ideas or things that he doesn't necessarily want to make a video for, but I have the energy to do. The other popular videos were my Tekken 8 preview. Like, these were this is when the game first started putting out like gameplay stuff. The very first trailers and announcements. And I got a lot of heat. No pun intended. I caught a lot of heat for kind of sounding like a doomer or being really critical so early in the game. And my opinions have definitely changed, but I thought it was cool to kind of just provide that analysis. I didn't feel like a lot of people were providing that content on YouTube. And it's not that I'm the only one thinking about it. I think the people who are smart enough that I study from and learn from and get inspiration from, these really, really smart players, are so good at analyzing the game, but don't necessarily care to make videos on it, right? So I feel like I'm poised well as someone who can learn from them and then convert it into video form to share with you guys. It's been really, really fun for me. And then I did some ASMR videos. I got inspired by Nee because he has a video like this. And I used to have like a big arcade stick collection. I still have it, but it's, you know, in different, like some is back home with my family, some is here. So it's hard to make these videos now, and I'm less interested in arcade sticks, but it was a fun concept to kind of like share my collection and just play the game like without stressing about my results or analysis. I might do more of those. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more. We had some small clips, we had some reactions to the main man, and then we had the early beginnings of my analysis style content, which is now the main thing my channel does. Looking back, I probably should have done that more. These videos were doing pretty well, but I was so lost as a YouTuber, I didn't know what I was doing at all. So these were, again, my metrics from 2022, and going into 2023, it has been unreal what the growth is like. Almost 2 million views, a little over 10,000 subscribers, and so much watch time. The comments too have been so phenomenal. I got comments from people saying like, I didn't play Tekken since 2020 or since 2010, and you made me want to play the game again. Or people saying, I don't even know what Tekken is, but I love your videos. And that blows my mind because I feel like my content is so hyper analytical, maybe like deep and focused for competitive players. But I'm grateful that the style I like to convey it in has been accessible. And like full disclosure, I completely copied Gotham Chess's videos. If you don't know him, he's basically the biggest chess YouTuber. And this style of kind of free form talking over a match and rewinding and highlighting options is fully inspired by what he does. Even this like video format where I like have my notes down below here. Where are my notes here? I have my notepad right here. Yeah. This style is ripped off of his channel. So I can't take credit for everything, but I'm just grateful that I'm able to make content in a way that's fun for me and that people seem to enjoy. The best videos that I had in 2023 were some sensationalized content talking about the new Backdash and Tekken 8, making a little movement tier list, covering my awesome tournament run at CEO 2023. This Backdash guide has been really evergreen. We'll be making a new one for Tekken 8, of course. And then again, more analysis content, looking at Nee, looking at Nee's a mini tier list, and then making a tier list with Nee. This is crazy to see together because, again, getting to visit Burbank and hang out with Nee a little bit, it was awesome having a conversation with a player of that caliber. So crazy growth, an awesome journey. I want to wrap up a few loose ends, I think. Looking at my videos here, The plan is to continue doing these kinds of analysis style videos. As much as I like doing teaching videos like this Jin Kazama guide and Steve guide, it's hard for me to feel really confident in doing it unless I really know what I'm talking about. So I want to make sure I talk to a lot of players and understand the best players in the world and understand how they play the character to make sure my opinion is pretty informed. That said, we'll be doing very basic character guides on punishment and things like that when Tekken 8 comes out. So please look forward to those. But yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about, I think, was these ICFC videos. A lot of people ask me, like, what happened? You were doing these and then they suddenly fell off. So if you haven't seen any of them, I was excited for this series because ICFC is kind of how I got my big break. Way back in the beginning, my first kind of big blow up was when I won ICFC Season 1, Week 3. And I beat AccuMajor, I beat Shadow in that tournament. It was a big breakout performance for me. I was lucky that I think Glaciating, who was very active at that time, went down to Shadow, I think, and then raided my stream. So it was the first time my stream had more than like 20 viewers. It was so exciting. The high was insane. So ICFC has been a big part of that tournament series, has been a big part of my life and my entire Tekken come up. So going into this last series, I wanted to win it so badly because the winner would be flown out to this offline event where they had all the ICFC winners in the Tenno Media studios, just fighting. And I love being on stage. Like, as I said about competing in content creation, I love being in front of the camera. I love like entertaining people. Even now, after I've competed for like 2 years and been on stream countless times, I still get so excited to play tournament matches on stream. Like, I have so much fun doing that. So I really wanted to win this. And then at the start of the season, I was playing really poorly. I really doubted all of my reads. I was like, my reactions were slow. It was just ugly, like unlucky first couple weeks. Then I had the wrist injury. Little update, it's completely fine now. Although if my forearm gets really fatigued, I'll start to notice some aching. So I take a lot of care of my left hand now. It's my main hand. But yeah, so obviously off the injury, I competed really poorly. Had a nice little couple weeks, but then the season ended up being 1 week shorter than I expected. So when I was on vacation out of the country, I was uploading these Tekken 8 videos daily from the closed beta test. And then I found out that the last ICFC week was happening while I was on vacation. I was so upset about that. Like, yes, it was great to be at the beach and like with family and all that, but this was one of my biggest goals. And I was so disappointed that I was out. Like, I was completely out of the running. So, I had basically in that week abroad, I was planning to miss 1 week and then come back to the final week. And if I took first place, I would have enough points to compete in the finals. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So that was a really disappointing thing. And that's why I stopped making videos on ICFC. But I expect to make more videos on tournament runs in the future for Tekken 8. Again, I'm not done competing. I still enjoy it a lot. But my focus by far is going to be on content because not only have you guys seemed to enjoy this style of analysis a lot, but I've really enjoyed striking this balance between education and entertainment. It's the kind of content I really wish I had learning League of Legends and learning Tekken. So if I can provide that, that's really, really awesome. And thank you guys for supporting it as always. The clickbait's not going to go away. That's part of the game. I'm sorry, but I'm not. It's what I have to do for people to watch it. But my hope is that you guys never feel lied to. Like if I clickbait you, I hope you at least come in and learn something. That is always the goal. It's to get eyes on it. And I really believe that I will ultimately provide value to you, the viewer, if you get to see it. Hopefully this video is still lives up to that promise. And if not, well, hopefully the next one will do better. So yeah, just looking back on all these videos is so crazy, man. Like, the style of my thumbnails have changed so much. The style of my content has changed a lot. There's a Fortnite video here. But that'll probably get unlisted. So, check it out if you want to see it. But yeah, kind of making the brand consistent has been hard to figure out how to do because I wanted to talk about these like tournament struggles where I would like choke when I'm in a winning position. But that doesn't always get a lot of views. So like maybe I have to like criticize the game, but my criticism feels authentic. Like I'm not just hating just to hate. Like I really believe what I'm saying. But I don't want to be like a negative content creator. So maybe I should like just do like dumb, funny clips. But I feel like I have information to share. You know what I mean? So it's been hard to find like the channel's identity, but I think we're getting closer. I still want to include these like mentality videos where I like approach ranked anxiety or like self-improvement or self-doubt, but I also want to focus really hard on the game because in my opinion, TLDR, focusing and getting lost in the game's mechanics and the intricacies of the game is how you counter the whole like self-worth vortex in gaming. The more you think about the nitty-gritty and just get lost in the details, the easier it is to forget about these meta thoughts that ultimately don't matter that much, as someone who used to be lost in them myself. I know that's vague, but I have videos on it, so you can check those out. But yeah, it's cool looking back on all this content. It's cool seeing the support you guys have continued to give me and the growth we're having. I hope to go into 2024 with a bang. 2023 has been challenging, but at least it's over now. And I think it's going to be a great year next year. So I'll see you in the LCQ for the Tekken World Tour Finals. We'll be providing content to ramp up to the finals, and we'll be throwing out a bunch of Tekken 8 content. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. This has been a different video, but if you stuck around this long, I really, really appreciate it. And I guess as always, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.